I want to revisit this one because I did upload about it a couple of times. This is the family in Yosemite, the baby, the dog, the husband, and the wife that mysteriously showed up dead, and how it pertains to officials won't give any information, not even the most basic information, even though there's no reason to do so. Now, the officials don't have to relay to the common public every conceivable thing, of course not. They don't have to do that. Now, in this case, the people were found dead right away. Okay, so look at this from a case like people are planning hikes looking for a missing person, such as Kenny Beach. That this person, this is called Missing Enigma, just uploaded this. Now this, keep in mind, this is 6 months later. 6 months later. Here's what everybody went through. Now I was just trying to figure it out because I was curious about it, to see if I could figure it out. This isn't a case where I was there and could plan a hike and go out searching and find them if they give the information. So this is, this is kind of different. It also ties in with that I mentioned heat trap, cold trap. But anyways, for months, they showed on the news when these people came up mysteriously dead, the car was parked here. You can't see it, but there's a paved highway. Very good paved highway right there at this yellow line. Okay, so they show the picture of the sign and the people walking in on the trail and the cars parked. Those videos are still there. The officials saw them for months and said nothing. And so, example of how people can go astray, as I did, is that this is just walking along level here. I checked it out, just walking along level, and they were found dead here. Well, they must have been hit by lightning or possible swamp gas or something. There'd be no reason for them to be there, after, even in hot heat, to walk along flat. This is relatively flat, walking along on an established trail. Okay, so there's how a potential searcher on a case, planning to go up like private people do and join in the search, could plan wrongly, even though they knew the information was false, that the vehicle was not parked there. They did not go in here. As a matter of fact, this video, even at this time, and he just uploaded it six months later, even at this time, it has still not been said that the vehicle was there. So then it turns out that by listening to the reports, on the news, the guy said, well, I went in on the road and eventually found the truck. And so I surmised, well, that could mean that it couldn't be here, that they must have been parked here and could have gone down here, which if they did, they're not going to make it back up. A heat trap. Okay, so now 6 months later, they confessed the vehicle was parked. It was parked right here. Also, the update on the route they took. Now, I figured, and I had no way of knowing this either way, but I figured, well, they went down here. They went down here, messed around, and come back up, but they weren't going to make it back up. No way. Death sentence. Here's what they did. Now, how this guy knows it, I don't know, but I assume he wasn't making it up. Okay, they parked here, and then knowing that this was a trailhead to come back up here, they actually walked along downhill along here to the highway where they had parked before and hiked in. Then they continue on this easy part, this easy level part. You walk through the water once or twice, but that's it. You're just walking along. Okay, then they are cut off they will be cut off from the car because there's no way to make it up this hill. And that's where they were found, here, not here. So the officials saw everything being reported wrongly and said nothing. Okay, it turns out they were found here. And so I want to throw in, okay, when you get down here, and at that time it was like 103 degrees, what could have been done? In other words, not to just point out what mistakes they made, but what could be done, such as for a hiker trying to avoid a similar situation. Well, this distance here is very short, relatively short, just walking along. Okay, now they get here, they know they're now in 100-degree heat. but the vehicle is up here. So they look at the vehicle and, of course, didn't notice there's no way they would make it up this hill, which is a long, arduous hill directly exposed to the sun. So the proper thing to do would have been, okay, we could be going into a trap. There is no way we're going to make it back up there. The only thing to do is head back now as quickly as we can and head back to the road and wave somebody down and then get a ride back to our vehicle, because if we go up here, we're going to die. We're not going to make it. So, true, that was poor judgment, but hindsight is 20/20. But that would have been the thing to do. And plus, you're right in the water, going along the water, so it's not like you're going to die. You can technically cool off in the water or drink it and still survive. But the point is that there is no reason for them to keep the information secret, except this person researched it by going to some officials and begging that the vehicle was parked there all along, and they knew it and they wouldn't say it. As far as a trap, what I mean by a trap is such as with Kenny Veach. If he goes up in the warm sun, and hikes up where you're sweating and then wakes up freezing to death, has to work his way down at night and falls off a cliff. Well, the trap wasn't the cliff that caused your death. The cold was. The cold was the root source of the death. So that's what I'm talking about when I say heat trap, cold trap. It could be anything. Like when you start out on a hike, you analyze what could kill me. I'm going to go from here, I'm going to go over to there, I'm going to come back here, get here about dusk, do this, do that. What along that hike could kill me? And so that's kind of what I mean by when I use the term trap. But anyway, this one kind of gets me because even to this day, they haven't said that this is where the vehicle was parked. And I surmised it. I had to read through the guy's thing that he went in on the road. Well, if he went on the road, that means he had to be here, but they wouldn't say it, even though they saw everyone was reporting wrongly on the news, and they still sit on it to this day. So the point is that if it was a case where a person stayed missing, these people were found right away, so it doesn't apply. So us analyzing it afterwards doesn't matter. They already found them. But the point is, by them withholding information with no reason to do so, people could be planning hikes, do all kinds of stuff, and be going to the wrong place, and the officials would know it and sit there and say nothing. Just like we don't know where the cell phone was found.